Hey everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we were continuing our double feature. Last week we did Blow Up. This week we're doing Blow Out by Brian De Palma. This isn't the first De Palma movie we've done on Criterion Connection. We also did Sisters.
We did.
Yes. So, yeah.
Go check that out. I don't know if that one... We were talking about the algorithm the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, go check out Sisters, that review.
That was fun.
That was an interesting movie.
Yeah, so this is from Brian De Palma. I have it right here. Blow Out from 1981, starring John Travolta. I don't know why I had to look at the box. It stars John Travolta and Nancy Allen, who I believe was either his girlfriend or wife, Brian De Palma.
Well, she was in Dressed to Kill.
She was in Dressed to Kill. And Carrie.
And Carrie.
Yes. Yeah. Dressed to Kill. He actually did... That was the movie he did before this.
Yes.
Which is also a Criterion Connection movie.
Also worth watching.
Collection movie.
We should review that sometime.
It's a funny thing. Before we do that, I actually did a podcast with Diana, who was on here for Rosemary's Baby. We talked about Dressed to Kill on Giallo of the Month Club, her podcast about Giallo movies. And that was a very interesting... I watched it a couple months ago, so it was very interesting. Especially when you watch this late after. Watch this afterwards, you're like... You see a lot of connections. Yep.
A lot of people from that movie are in this.
He loves making Nancy Allen like a call girl.
De Palma's got a thing for call girls.
And Subways. But yeah, this movie, basically, it's similar to Blow Up, to where, instead of photography, it's sound engineering and Foley and sound mixing and stuff. Sound audio.
And I like the change.
Yes.
I think the change makes it a little more interesting.
Yes.
Whereas Blow Up, we're dealing with a photographer. This guy, he's out one night recording Foley.
Yeah, just environment. Just
and
wind.
I like how the movie kicks us right in.
I like how it shows the movie and you hear the terrible...
The sound.
Because I was watching with Diana and she was like, is this a werewolf movie?
This is so bad.
Yeah,
is this Sam Raimi's first movie?
And then you get the terrible scream, and that's what kicks us off into the movie, and
it immediately sets us up. John Travolta, he's part of this. He's a sound man for this B movie house.
What was it? It was like Bloodbath 2, Bordello Blood, not the Tales from the Crypt movie.
Yeah, no. And then there was Camp Blood or something like that.
Yeah, something. Camp on Blood Beach. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and then this one.
Yeah. For 2 years. They worked for 2 years.
Yeah. You set it up real quick. Yes. He's part of this low budget film, studio. He goes and does sound.
And you could do more because even the director says, you could be doing more. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, he's really talented. We learn more about his backstory later. But at this moment, he goes out and he's recording new wind, new Foley sounds to put into the film. Because, trust me, when we watched the first scene, it's real bad.
Also, I will say...
It needed new sound.
He has the best shotgun mic I've ever seen or heard. Because he's picking up the conversation. That's the only little nitpicks. There's no way that he could get that conversation from that height, that crisp.
Anyway,
unless it's a great shotgun mic.
He's out recording, and he's getting little pieces here. He gets that little conversation. He gets the owl. He gets the frog. He gets wind. Yeah. But then he also gets a car that's losing control.
Yeah, and crashes into a river?
Yeah.
Lake?
There's a bang.
Yeah.
And the tire blows out.
Tile drop. There's a lot of tile drops.
Yeah, and then... The car loses control, goes into the creek. It's very specific that he always hears the bang and then a blowout. Yeah. Where, for people who don't know, it pretty much sounds the same. Yeah. But he hears it and he hears the difference. And he's a Hollywood sound man. He should know. Yeah. And he jumps into the water. He finds a girl trying to get out of this car. Yes. And he's trying to figure out how to get her out. And, he looks in the front passenger seat. He sees a dead man.
Yeah, blood.
Bleeding out.
I love how, like, in the car, it starts filling up with blood in the water.
Yeah, that's very De Palma.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's very De Palma, where it's red inside the car. He eventually busts the window and gets the girl out of the car.
Yeah.
And this goes into the plot of the movie.
Yes. Also, before that, like, there's a great opening credits kind of thing where, like, he's, working on, like, the audio and stuff like the reels. Mm-hmm. And while that's going on, the news is going on talking about Governor, whatever his name was, the guy. McRyan, thank you. Versus the president. No name. Just the president. Yeah, so basically the governor is the person that dies in the car.
Yep, and he saves this young girl that he was probably not supposed to be with.
Sally.
Her name is Sally.
Nancy Allen.
And essentially everybody wants this to be hushed up. He's the good governor. He was going to run for president. He was probably going to win, is what everybody says.
Yeah, and the people behind the scenes did not want that.
And they don't want the new... Like, the governor's dead already. Let's put this behind us. Let's not put any more bad news out there. Let his family grieve.
They don't even know about the call girl.
Yeah, they don't need to know about all that. But John Travolta is... He's not happy about being hushed up, but he's willing to do it until he's got this nagging feeling that the governor wasn't killed in an accident.
Yeah.
That this was on purpose. That he hears a bang, which he surmises to be a gunshot.
And then he actually does the investigation. You go with him with the investigation. You see him go to the animation thing. He goes through a lot of, like, cool ideas. Like, the animation was a super cool idea. And it really worked out really well.
Reworking the video.
Yeah, and he got and you see the bang. And you're like, oh, crap. And, it even deals even deeper. Like, when the reason why he wants to do it is because I feel like before he was a sound guy, he was making wires.
Yeah, so...
And that goes really bad for him.
It's revealed that he was a radio whiz kid.
Yeah.
And then when he was in high school, got recruited and pretty much went to the Army, become a communications officer. And then from there went to law enforcement and pretty much did wires and bugs and stuff.
Yeah, and then he stopped for good reason.
Yeah, he stops because of a tragedy that happens that he blames himself for. And that's why he's so dogged in trying to get, A, the truth, and B, to not cover up. Because he was internal affairs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want any cover-ups. He wants people to be held accountable for what they did.
This also years after the Kennedy assassination. Mm-hmm. So that's probably also big in people's minds, too, because that's around the time, you would hear conspiracy theories or whatever, but then over the years, it gets more and more rampant. Mm-hmm. And, and this one... It also delves in this whole thing, like there was also a conspiracy that Sally was involved with.
It's multi-layered, and I really like that. And
then you got this weird serial killer thing going on, too, with John Lithgow, who's great. John Lithgow's great.
He's
great in anything he does, really.
Yeah, he's wonderful in this movie. Especially, like, I love the anonymous tip that he does.
Yes.
And he's just showing off his acting ability, just... This is how good I am. Yeah. It's like, I can put on this character vocally and barely move a muscle on my face.
Yeah.
And look cold as hell.
And he, and he's basically the hired gun. He was not supposed to shoot the tire. He wasn't supposed to do that at all. But they were like, but they hired the wrong kind of hired gun. They actually hired a psycho.
Yeah.
And it really and it's basically clean up and all this, and there's a great scene that ties in with the subway, where he wires up Sally, and there's a whole, like, tense moment where, like...
You're talking about the end of the movie.
Near the end of the movie, yeah. Right before the end. Right before the nighttime scene. Right before that almost comedic, him driving through the parade scene. Yeah. But yeah, like when she meets the newscaster.
It's the climax of the film that he's talking about.
Yeah, it's such a good build-up.
And it all ties in...
Yeah.
With the backstories of the different characters, and it just works.
Yeah. But also there is a thing that ties into the beginning at the end where you're like, oh, that's screwed up, man.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's a movie that presents the information to you when you need it.
Yes.
And when it does, even if it's something that doesn't come back until later, like it's a callback, it works. Everything's tied back in, and how do I phrase this? It's in that way it's a satisfying ending because everything kind of it makes sense, and everything kind of gets resolved. There's a mixture of different resolutions in there.
Yes,
but it does but also, effectively.
There's also the resolution
tie up all the plot ends.
And also, there's also a deeper question of how deep was this?
Yeah.
Like we all know that the guy hired John Lithgow's character. What was his name? Burke. That was his name. We all know they hired Burke, but was it him that hired it? Was it something higher up? Was it the president?
Well, that was the thing. Is the idea is this guy was running against McRyan. That was all that was really said.
Yeah. So we don't know how deep this conspiracy is, and I like that.
And that's realistic. There's a lot of people who are involved in this. They're like, I'm not asking questions.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just taking the money and doing my job.
Yeah.
Period. I'm not asking who it is. I don't even know their names. I just need the money. Show me the green. I'm good.
Also, the cinematography in this is great. It's classic De Palma, whereas they have the split screens, so the double imposed thing.
Yeah, he has the double exposures that he likes to do.
He loves, it's a great, like, that great
camera
scene,
moves.
The great scene where it's a 360.
Yeah.
Where, like, he's realizing all of his tapes are erased. It's a great 360 shot. Love it. He's great. Also, some like John Travolta's his apartment is awesome looking. It's got the cool steps and stuff. Yeah. So there's only one downside to the movie, I think, and I think it's really glaring with when you watch Dress to Kill. Is one, he always wants to make Nancy Allen a prostitute. It must be a fetish. I don't know. But
she's not really a prostitute.
No, she isn't. In this movie, she isn't. She's perceived.
Dressed to Kill, she was.
She's perceived as a prostitute.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a deeper thing to her character that you realize. Is she's kind of dumb. She's like, "What's a wire?" And you're just like, "Oh my." She just seems so.
She's very naive. And I think he goes a little overboard. Yeah, yes. I can see where you're talking about. He goes a little overboard with the naivete.
Yeah, I think she's a little too naive and a little kind of dumb at times.
They make her ditzy.
Yeah, I thought it was a little... And especially in the beginning, you meet her in the hospital scene, she's like, I want to go.
And gullible, and I see what you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel like that's like... Not saying she's poorly written, but she's poorly written. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like she's not awfully written, but she's not the best written.
It wasn't something that was pronounced in my mind, but it is something that is a glaring flaw when you look back.
Yes. So, the real question is, Joe, buy, rent, or skip?
Okay. I'm going to say buy. I think this is a really, really good movie. It's a great thriller. It's not shown enough. Because you got all these other De Palma films that come out around that time, Dress to Kill,
Scarface.
Those
Untouchables.
are all Untouchables. Those are all shown to death. This one is the one that's left out, and it's a really, really good one. And it's also one they don't lose track of all their plot threads as many as they throw at you.
Loose ends.
They take care of them.
Yeah, just like Burke.
Yes, just like Burke.
Gives those loose ends.
But I think it's a really great movie that has like an evolving mystery that, as the characters learn different layers, more layers are added for the audience. It's like, because the audience is always 2 steps ahead.
You also witness like the most convoluted like prostitute trying to get money.
Yeah.
Like she's asking the sailor, for 30 minutes you get $30, and I'm just like, things going too long.
That's a weird aside, but it's one of those things where it's like the audience, the way the mystery works and the suspense works is the audience is 1 step ahead of the characters, but the characters are learning And then the audience gets more layers thrown on top, too, and it just keeps everybody engaged through the whole movie.
And I'll say, for me, buy, because I own it already. This also has some great supplements. I did not get to watch the hour-long video interview with De Palma. He probably says holy mackerel a lot. If you've seen the De Palma movie, he says holy mackerel a lot. There's a great Nancy Allen. It also has the feature Murder a la Mode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on there. I haven't watched it, but I own it. I think it's worth owning. It was a really good movie. I thought really De Palma's great in this. I think it's got a great cinematography. The score is great. Mm-hmm. I like this score. It has kind of like this modern, like early '80s kind of sound, but also has this great cinema kind of score to it. I think it's really good. The character performances. Nancy Allen, while she is ditzy in this, she does perform it really well.
She's very charming as as an actress. Like you are on her side.
You realize why John Travolta was a big star. Oh my God, a big star. Now he's in The Fanatic. Moose. Yeah. So I say it's buy. So yeah, that's our thoughts on Blow. Oh, we forgot to mention that other movies that are like Blow Up and Blow Out. Like another with the check out. You said The Conversation.
It's a Francis Ford Coppola movie with Gene Hackman.
Yes,
it's fantastic.
It's surprising it's on Criterion Collection because it's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's great. I think it's better than Godfather. Said it.
I'd put it up there.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on that. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. Share. All that. What's your favorite De Palma movie that we have not done? We might just still do Dress to Kill. But what's another one? He probably has another. I think he has another one in the collection. I don't know. What's your favorite Wes Anderson movie that we should torture Joe with? Let's do it. Let's do it. Subscribe and comment and share and all that. I tell you this every episode. We're almost 150 episodes in. You know the deal. So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we will see you later.